Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone. Thank you for joining us today for our webinar about protection businesses during tight times. Whether you are tuning in from your office, your home, or somewhere else, I hope that you are all safe and well. I'm also excited to be here and to share with you some valuable insights and information about security industry. So basically, over the next 60 minutes, we will be covering topics, a range of topics that are related to maximizing security budgets during tight times. We also have fantastic guest speakers joining us today, and they will be sharing their expertise and answering your questions. So basically, you can ask the questions, and we encourage you to ask the questions in the comment on the right side of your screen. So, without further ado, let's get started. I'm now inviting my guests, my colleagues, to joining me on the stage, and they are actually coming from the different companies. So, first of all, let's start with the ladies. Katerina Ryan, she's Business Development Manager from ZKTeco company. Hello, Katerina.
Hello, nice to be here.
Nice to
Thank
see
you for
you.
inviting
Thank you very much for joining us today. The next one is actually Roberto Licari. He's actually security consultant, security system advisor. He is coming from Vienna. And Roberto, thank you for joining us today. Welcome on board.
Thank you very much, Said. Thank you for the invitation. Nice to see all the friends, colleagues online, and thank you for all the participants to be here.
Great. Đorđe Baćić is from VIVOTEK. He is actually business development manager, and he will actually present the VIVOTEK brand and new VIVOTEK solutions in this presentation and talk about from the perspective of manufacturer. Hello, George.
Hi. Thank you, Said. Hello for everyone from Zagreb. Thanks.
How is in Zagreb? Is it cloudy or sunny?
Mix. It's a half sunny,
Something
half
between.
cloudy. Yes,
Yeah,
how is
something
in
between.
Sarajevo.
Basically it is same, So if you have today sunny or cloudy, tomorrow will be same in Sarajevo. You actually sent
Yes,
us.
yes. One day before you. Yes.
Something like that, exactly. Paul Mercer, he's founder and managing director at HawkSight Security Risk Management. It is about risk management platform, and he's actually coming from France. Hello, Paul. Hello, Paul. Sorry.
Hi, Said. How are you? Thanks for the invitation. I'm looking forward to having the conversation with everyone.
Thank you very much for joining us today in this webinar. And actually, as I said in the beginning, let's get started with the topic. Let's unveil the topic and so on. So, starting with the Roberto. Roberto, in the beginning, talking about the security system, and our topic is actually maximizing security budgets in organization during the tight times. Generally talking, what is the cost of a security system?
Wow, that's an amazing question where to start, Said. Thank you for this. As I describe in my title, as I describe in my title, basically I operate on multi countries and multi market as a consultant or advisor, and that means I'm engaged with talk and establish relationship with any element of the chain. So the end user, the integrators, the distributor, and the vendor, and this allow me to see the picture from different angles. Maybe the better answer to this question is which is the cost of non-secure system for a non-secure system. But I think this is a long story since ever. To make a nice story short, I would like to say that to have a real security solution, you need to invest. But as advisor, I would like to provocate a little bit the colleagues around this table. Probably end user need to invest better. I think that there is a very curious phenomenon in the market right now. where vendors are doing great job from their perspective, pushing the market and the technology more and more, in my opinion, too fast. And the market is still behind some reality. Basically, most of the customers do not have still implemented the basic of a security system. And this is a huge gap in between, or I would say a huge fight in front of us. That's probably the summary of the cost of the security system, combining the technology proposal with the reality of the daily business in any end user.
Thank you, Roberto. You mentioned actually that you are present in several countries. So, in your perspective, what is the difference between countries when coming to implementing of security solutions? How they differ?
Well, I would like to say that East and West are different when I refer to Europe, obviously. And but this is a long story. I mean, all the time in my career, I saw a lot of differences between East and West. But instead of dividing the Europe today, I would like to point out that I see more and more a big gap right now from a technology perspective between the typical American trends, where connectivity is a reality, and so cloud is a reality, cybersecurity is a real problem, and blah blah blah, against the Europe or the old style market, let's say, where the technology goes in that direction. But I mean, I was waking up tonight from a friend traveling from United States to Europe, and he landed in Milan, and he called me because there was no Wi-Fi signal in the railway station, so he was not able to pick up a web page and buy a ticket. And this influenced a lot of the security system and technologies in Europe, I think. So if we want to split Europe, I would say East is running behind West, but just because of a mature perception of the market. But again, the entire Europe is identifiable by the fact that it's not the United States, and there is no connectivity, and there is no that kind of approach to the technologies in the market.
So let's say that we need to speed up.
Well, or they have to slow down. It depends. Probably we need to consolidate what we have and what we do not know. My experience say that on a daily basis, I have end user with absolutely no time, no experience, no capacity, no education about what the technology can offer. And this is a fact. I mean, on brochure and on catalog, everything is fantastic. Everything is amazing. But then when you go down in the real scenario, the end user very often do not know what to do, or how to approach, or how to compare, or how to analyze solution. And most of the solution abuse of technologies, of word, etc., etc. I was in Sicurezza in Italy last November, and I can tell you that I start counting the word integration on the booth, and when I arrived to 75, I simply stop it. So everyone was able to integrate. And this is a kind of trend. I mean, then we have probably to define what the integration means, and which is the benefit, which is the focus, and blah, blah, blah. So that's the picture I see, a very chaotic picture.
I understand. Thank you very much, Roberto. We will come in a round to you again. Paul, I think that your microphone is muted, but still you can hear us. So you're a risk manager, and your company is about a risk management platform. In your comparison, basically, how have risks evolved in the last 1 or 2 decades? Can you compare the situation about risks now and about risks, let's say, in 2014 or in 2004?
Well, it's really interesting to hear Roberto saying about the perception from Eastern Europe to Western Europe, because in many ways, my response to that question is very similar, in that the risk drivers in today's security environment, and I talk generically and globally, and to Roberto's point, this will differ in different parts of the world, but the digital revolution is a very significant thing where countries are able to take benefit from it. And where they can take benefit from it, there is also the increased risk of it. Not only that, but what I do think is crossing the world without barrier, because of the big ubiquitous nature of the kind of devices that hold the information, is the availability of information, the use of information, and the use of disinformation that is driving polarization amongst society, driving uncertainty, which beforehand had not any real impact from a security perspective, but nowadays we're seeing increased civil unrest across the world, based on various drivers: inequality, economics, politics, etc. Geopolitical tension right now. We talk of the East and what's going on in Ukraine. We now look at what's going on in the disputed territories and the increased tension that's going on between China and the United States. That increase in geopolitical tension, mixed with the globalization of the global population, is now bringing those tensions to the doorstep of all of us, because our societies are becoming more mixed, but we're representative of a lot of different culture, a lot of different ideology, and a lot of different religion. The socio-economic inequality is driving grave concerns, particularly at the moment in a post-COVID environment where the haves and the have-nots and the disparity between those is getting ever broader. And that's representing itself on the streets. It's representing itself on access to everything from education to healthcare, to day-to-day food and water. And then when we look at the environmental impacts that have become so much more acute in today's world, and we look at the concerns over things like food scarcity, water scarcity, and again, from a Western perspective, something that was often viewed as someone else's problem is now firmly at the door of everybody. And I think overall that drive of uncertainty, whether it be within the cyberspace, where in a world of operational technology and the Internet of Things, the difference between physical and digital security now is a thing of the past. Everything's connected, and a modern security professional needs to understand both aspects, not necessarily be an expert in both aspects, but they need to be able to reflect on that. So I think in summary, because it's a very big question, I think the world has become a very challenging place. I think this ubiquitous nature of information that is creating uncertainty and confusion is only adding to that. And then there are the very real aspects of things like the geopolitical situation, environmental change, that is driving security concerns where they weren't 20 years ago.
Thank you very much, Paul. That's a great approach. Katerina is also present in many countries, talking about now Adriatic region, and you're also presenting ZKTeco in DACH region. Would you agree with Roberto and Paul that there is a difference between eastern and western part of Europe, and that actually Europe as a whole is behind USA? And
the thing is, I don't think your question is so much black and white, because if we're talking about technologies and development of technologies, they are not developing in parallel. And I wouldn't say that the USA is always first in bringing the latest technologies. If we're talking about cloud, of course, but the technologies that we're using every day, things like connectivity for the airports, for example, America has gone completely different direction from Europe in the past. And for example, if you're traveling to the States, you can see that difference compared to if you have to travel in Europe. And for the security technologies, I believe a lot of things are very similar. Connectivity in Eastern Europe, yes, that's indeed a problem. But Eastern Europe is much more eager to adapt and to try new things. And because they were so many years behind, they can implement the newest technologies right now. When Western Europe started, 10, 20, 30, UK, how many years ago it started with the cameras. So they still a lot live with analog world, for example. So things change, but they cannot change all of them. And there are a lot of consultants that still believe in analog, for example. So yeah, so for example, for me, working in Europe, those are basically things which I'm facing on a daily basis. So plus on top goes the culture. So culture, more traditional, more conservative culture of Germany, more adaptive and forward culture of the Netherlands, and a very varied culture which relies on personal relationships, which we face here in Baltic.
Okay, thank you very much, Katerina. Đorđe, question for you.
Yes.
How actually you are representative of VIVOTEK, and VIVOTEK is actually not USA, but it's Taiwan actually brand. Now we are talking about USA technology and so on. VIVOTEK is known as a global provider of surveillance products. How do you see this opportunity for Adriatic region, for Eastern countries? Let's say if they are behind the Western countries, or
Uh,
is this
I
opportunity for
I
a
I
manufacturer?
I work a long time in this business, and from the start, from the technician projects, and I think that Eastern Europe have different approach. Eastern Europe like to develop something to from latter part connecting the one system. Most system integrator in the Eastern Europe, what I working with them, they are connecting. Lata, I don't know, cameras from the one vendor, VMS from the other vendor, access control from the third vendor. They are connecting everything in one system and deliver a total integration. I have a lot of my customers who working on that way. They are not too much oriented on the total solution because any producer today cannot offer total solution. I don't know, somebody offering VMS, somebody offers cameras, but I think I working a lot on this market, and I don't know Western company market, but I know that we have in the Eastern Europe a lot of imagination for the building something, and my partner are very involved to build something new, to build some project, to build some solution, total solution. And I will not agree that Eastern Europe is a lot behind Western Europe. We have just a different approach. And VIVOTEK is here. It's very well because we are very flexible in our solution that every system integrator can very easy using our solution and our features and our advantage.
That would be actually my next question to you is about the technology, particularly talking about VIVOTEK and technology. So basically, how technology and automation can be leveraged by security professionals to optimize the security operations and minimize uh, costs, specifically talking about, let's say, in a challenging economic environments.
Example now in the last time it's mostly popular. We using some we calling deep search where we collecting attributes, camera collecting attributes and save them together with recordings. But end customer getting much more advantage in research some problems. I will later show that in my presentation how that looking. They can now very easy search for the person, for the vehicle, for the color of the vehicle, and they can doing that very fast. For the end user now, that job, if it's something happened, that work what they need to do, it's much easy. And that is the job of the producer and the vendor to make solution to be easy and very friendly for the end customer.
Thank you very much. Đorđe, coming to Katerina. Katerina, sorry, you have the presentation to share with us about the ZKTeco solutions that align with the topic. Could you please start sharing your screen and show us what is actually, interesting in ZKTeco?
Absolutely. Just a second. So basically, if you know ZKTeco a little bit, ZKTeco is a manufacturer, and ZKTeco has a very large portfolio of products. So the products include biometric access control, time and attendance, turnstiles, parking barriers, metal detectors, under vehicle inspection, also full CCTV range, including cameras, NVRs, cables, switches, so basically monitors, so basically everything you can think about, and even more. So if you are interested, you can always look at our website. So some of the products are made in China, but also we have a product line these days called Armatura, where that's an access control solution that is designed in the USA and made in Thailand, and has basically all the certifications around that. ZKTeco is known on offering innovation, security, and cost effectiveness. Basically, it has a lot of expertise. It's offering a lot of expertise on the products that are being offered. So today, I wanted to talk about the software that ZKTeco is offering, that is basically putting all those well-known different parts of ZKTeco into one platform. So the software is called ZK BioCV Security, and it's based on hybrid biometric technology and AI, basically. At the moment, there are already 17 modules that include access control, elevator, visitor, time attendance, local management, video intercom, also parking management, CCTV video, analytics, intrusion, alarm, consumption, so a lot of different possibilities. And of course, we offer the hardware for all those modules. The interesting think about it, it's basically offers a redundancy. It can be multi-site. We have customers working across different countries, and it can really connect all the parts of your system. I'm going to show a small video and just to illustrate what I'm talking about, and I'm going to add a couple more details about this solution. So basically, my background has been, for the last 15 years, has been more into video surveillance. So the last company that I've been working for before ZKTeco was doing video management systems. And that's why, I have a lot of understanding of different, video management systems also of competitors. So when I saw this software for the first time, it was a very, pleasant surprise for me to see that there is a software in the market which combines the kind of the features of high-end competition, being openness. So it's OnVIV. It offers API, so it's possible to integrate also third-party systems. Plus, of course, it's supporting all its own products, of course. Plus, you can have 64 video channels for free completely. It's scalable. You can start with one module. You can start, like if you start with access controls, you can have, 2, 3, 4, 5 doors, and scale it into multi-site system based on that. Also, there is only a one-time license fee, so you don't have to pay anything, monthly or yearly. And all the technical support is free of charge as well, for the for the lifetime of the system. So you have, the management is possible all from one screen. So if you have several systems, access control, intrusion, fire alarm, video surveillance, you don't have to manage several systems. You can manage all from one screen, by one person pretty much. Other interesting things are, of course, support. So most of the support can be done remotely. So there is no need to go to the customer site. There is no need to spend the money and the time for it. Plus, we have a very advanced pre-sales team that not only advises on the project, which equipment is better and how, but can also advise based on your existing, if you want to replace or upgrade existing system from another manufacturer. For example, they can advise devices that can be used without changing the wiring and save money in that sense. So basically, yeah, those are, I would say, main advantages. And of course, if you're interested in more detail in cost, in how to operate, and limitation, benefits, that I can talk about in a separate discussion. Perhaps you'd be interested to contact me after the presentation.
Katerina, thank you very much for the introduction of BioCV. Actually, ZKTeco BioCV security. It's very, very nice software and great solution for showing it. Going to Đorđe. Đorđe also has something to show that is coming from the VIVOTEK, and talking about the choice, to offer the choice for the client. VIVOTEK has a couple of series, different series in offer. Could you elaborate more, Đorđe, on this one with your presentation?
Yes, just to share. Okay. Can you see my presentation?
Not now.
Yeah.
Now there's a
It's
picture.
here.
Is it working?
Actually, we have a picture here.
That is not my picture.
Take your time.
Just a second. Window. Okay. Now?
It's coming
Okay.
here.
Okay. Are we talking? It's okay? You see now?
Yes, confirm.
Okay. I will try to be quick and fast and explain about VAS Security Station. It's a VSS, it's our VMS, and how we are separate to in the free layer that we can fill all the budget, what is the need. Short introduction about VIVOTEK. 1,300 employees globally, revenue 332 million. We are part of the Delta groupation, what is more 83,000 global employee and over 12 billion USD per year revenue. This is our offices. I am in the EMEA Netherlands part. VSS, that is the platform, what we can all. We have three version: Light, Standard, and the Pro. I will later explain about all of that. VSS Lite, that is for the small installation where is the up to 32 cameras. VIVOTEK is free of charge. It's basic feature like live view and recording, and we covering all this small part. VSS standard, it's total till 128 cameras, and we are targeting on the some small and the middle business here. And with this option, you're getting a camera license for free of charge, and all substation like NVR, what you put in the VSS, is free of charge. That means that you can get, I don't know, max 32 substation for 4 channel or 16 with 8 channel, and everything can be a free of charge. And all features are supported, like transmission from the NVR to the CMS. In this situation, it's VSS, it's a CMS, central monitoring station. And VSS Pro, it can be total 22,000 cameras, 700 substation. It's for the enterprise project. What is the, you know, we can, with this, we try to cover all the budget for the customers, because all customers are not same. Somebody need to light solution, somebody need to standard, somebody need professional. This is some camera model for this small medium business, what is the with NVR. It's for the standard video, and nothing special, any feature. This is some technical specification. This is something about our new 87V3 camera. What is the some middle range and coming for dome indoor and outdoor dome with the short and the middle range, and the bullet have short, middle, and the long range. I will show you how that looking, which all model in the picture. Um, Now, just a second. You see, deep search. That is what I talk, and I will try to explain more about deep search. This is deep search collecting information from the outside and keep in the recordings, and customer after that can very easy research these recordings by some attribute: gender, age, clothing, color, accessories. We will see later. I will show one video from the Taiwan. This is for from the 87V3 camera to see how many object camera can follow in the one view. And I think Taiwan is the best place for the doing that too, because a lot of different vehicle, a lot of people, and you will see now. You can see on the left side how to collecting, how to matching people, and how to matching bike, motorbike, car, a truck. You can see that in the one scene can follow more than, how I calculated roughly, it's around 40 objects, 30, 40 objects, depends on the scene. It's very, very powerful camera model. And this is camera working on the edge, collecting then information and the save together with the recordings. And after that, customer will search in the recordings to see all of that information what is camera collecting. I can switch now. Okay. This is in the client. We assess how that looking at research. You can see people with attribute. We can search upper body. Okay. Second. Example of by appearance, vehicle, truck, blue. Okay. By behavior, we can enter the imagine line and to search some example in this part vehicle example. Imagine we will just line crossing, and we will get a result how many cars are crossing this line in the some typical time, chosen time. And this is in the pro version solution where we will doing research. Example, this person to research to all the cameras to find him on the all cameras what collect imagery. Prevent to happened attribute search, scene research. I showed the videos. And what is the most important? We want to have a lot of protection, TLS, encrypted file, what says watermark, cybersecurity. And that's all. Thank you. Any question?
Đorđe, thank you very much for the presentation. We will come to you with the question later. It's very nice to see a solution that's, let's say, like complex and with all of these features there to be like all in one solution.
I try to be very quick. I don't have too much time for the presentation.
Well, thank you very much, Đorđe.
No problem.
Appreciate that. And definitely, I would agree with you that Taiwan is the best place to see how crowd this is and how many objects camera can detect in a single second.
See, motorbike, car, everything. Thanks.
For sure. Now we will go to Roberto. Roberto, can you hear us?
Absolutely, yes. Thank you for this.
Great. You mentioned in the beginning of your speech, you mentioned about investments. So investments in the security, and you said that companies should or organizations should invest more in the security. Talking about this time, when we have economic uncertainties. So basically, what metrics or what methods we can apply or do you recommend for measuring the ROI of investment and, let's say, the effect of the investment in a security?
Well, thank you for the question, Said. If you allow me 30 seconds before answering your question, I would like to recap a couple of points from the first block, just to clarify a concept. I don't want to pass any message where America is first and Europe is second. This is absolutely not my idea, or a message where East is behind the West. I want just to point out that my experience traveling and working with people from Spain to Albania, from Czech Republic to Netherlands, gave me the indication that those areas are moving very differently. The focus of each area, of each region, of each country, of each continent is completely different. And normally, because most of the technology come from US, obviously technologies are designed for a reality where the bandwidth is not an issue. I mean, George mentioned 22,000 cameras in a single environment. I can imagine 1 megabyte bandwidth for each camera. That means 22,000 megabyte of bandwidth required by a system. Obviously, I'm joking, but what I mean is that the way the products are designed are not in line with the reality of the market. This is the message I would like to pass. And if you allow me, in this next, I just prepared 3 pictures. The reason why I prepared 3 pictures is that showing, I don't have any product to show because I'm not offering a product. I'm offering myself and my skill, my capacity. And thanks to the product presentation I saw from the colleagues, I just got the lovely confirmation of the fact. So we just see amazing technology, great benefits coming from the technology, from the vendors, from the producer. But the picture that you are watching right now, I think you are watching my picture, is an airport emergency door in Italy. So you, in case of emergency, the door is completely blocked by I don't know, someone that has decided to block it because probably it was used to go out and smoking a cigarette, or something like this is pretty normal for me to be visit when I visit cities and I see connection and cables and scenarios, or something like this. It's about an exhibition that I visit personally. So the only things I would like to pass very strongly is that there is a huge gap between the technology and the reality that is at today present in the market. And with this example, I would answer your question, Zaid, how to optimize investment, how to spend the money. Instead of replying your sentence, how can people spend more? I would like to say, how can people can spend better? And when I say spend better, I go again in the direction where understanding a feature like the one George show us, like the one Katerina show us, I think as Paul has the same opinion like mine, showing those feature and do not understanding not the feature itself, not the technical aspect of the feature itself, but understanding the benefit in a real environment that that feature will bring to my organization. That's the big difference in the security investment. This is the way where on a daily basis, I try to bring to the market my experience, my senior experience, to help the people, to try to stay with the people and understanding in which situation they need which feature, which characteristics, which product. And this is probably the answer to your question. Spending better means allocate the right money to the right solution. If I decided to work with VIVOTEK, and I'm using VIVOTEK just because it's around the table today, and they are offering me a fantastic 12 megapixel. George, apologize. I don't know if you have a 12 megapixel, but I suppose you have it. Maybe the 12 megapixel is not the camera that I need to implement in any single corner of my facility. Maybe I need a 12 megapixel in some area and only 1 megapixel in some other area that will cost me less. But I need to understand how to use the device, the camera in this case, so I can invest my money properly. That's probably the better answer from my experience that I will bring to this table. Spend better. It's more smart than spending more or less. And spending better in this tough period, I would say probably is the right answer for the return of investment, for the investment of the company to optimize, to integrate devices, as George said before, to go for PSIM integration, integrated platform, etc., etc., etc.
Roberto, thank you very much for that point. Congratulate on that one for sure. That I think that we all agree with you that we should spend better, and having all of these options there, maybe it will help us, to choose the better solution, the best solution. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. I will leave the
Sorry.
space to Paul. Yeah, sorry. No, I don't want to interrupt.
Paul, you said that HawkSight is actually a security risk management platform, and you also have a shared video with us how it works. So could you please add it to the
Okay,
screen?
let's do this. It's a very short video, and then I can talk over it.
So let's see how HawkSight is working.
Okay, do you see the screen?
Can you hear?
Is it coming?
Yeah, it's here.
It's here. Okay, well, let me talk over it. I think what Roberto has just described is exactly the point. We need to answer the question why to the business. Why is it that we should invest in this surveillance system, this access control system, this perimeter fence, this cybersecurity system, and particularly when we're talking about times where we've got a restricted budget, we need to prioritize. And in my opinion, and the opinion of a lot of risk-led security practitioners, is the best management tool for that is risk management. Risk management requires you to prioritize what is it that you're trying to protect in the first place, and matching those critical assets to the key business objectives that are going to ensure the success of the business. And then we need to prioritize, what are we trying to protect them from? What threats are we trying to protect them from? And having then identified what threats may impact those assets, we then need to understand how vulnerable are those assets to the threats that we've identified. And it's in understanding that dynamic risk profile of the organization that you're going to try and protect, that you'll understand, do we need to do a surveillance system? Do we need an access control system? If we need a surveillance system, what is it looking for? And why is it looking for it? What level of information is going to be required from it? But having then ascertained that, in order for the security professional within the business to be able to convince the business that they need the systems, some of which have been marketed today, they've got to change the way they sell it. Because essentially, if you talk about security to business, they won't understand it. But if you talk about the business impact of security concerns, they will sit up and take notice. And I was recently talking to a board member on, okay, what is it that makes you sit up and take notice? And he said very clearly, financial impact, the compliance requirement to remain inside the law, and brand and reputational impact. So the message is, for the security professional within the corporates who is looking at trying to justify the purchase of some of the products we've seen today, don't talk to the business about security, talk to them about how it will benefit business objectives. And I think I can stop presenting there.
Well, that's actually a great point, Tell them not what they want, but actually what they need to have it.
Yeah,
If I'm right.
Justify the requirement for it. So by explaining to them that there is a provable risk of X that will affect this asset, which is essential to achieve this particular business objective, and without it, the potential of disruption to that critical business objective will stop you achieving it, which will have X financial impact, or Y reputational impact. The business is going to sit up and take notice. The other thing, to answer a question you asked me earlier about what is the changing risk environment in which we're operating today, and one of the answers to that is regulation. So 20 years ago, security was highly unregulated across the world. Nowadays, in the US and more in Europe, there are very, very specific regulations that are going to put security professionals in the dock at court as individuals if they're unable to comply with it. So the onus on business leadership now to effectively manage business and the security risks that business faces is now a lot more highly regulated. So compliance becomes the third of the triangle of key concerns that will resonate most strongly with the board when you're trying to justify security spending.
Thank you very much, Paul, for your presentation and actually talking about this from the different approach from the security as well, advisor, similar as Roberto. We mentioned the products, we mentioned the solutions that we have at the moment, and using them in a right way, in a best way, if we can say. So ZKTeco is also known as a manufacturer who actually drives the innovation and maintain, let's say, some kind of competitive range in the rapidly evolving security market and so on. So basically, how do you leverage extensive patent portfolio in a biometric verification and for specifically talking about algorithms and computer vision techniques, Katerina?
ZKTeco is indeed one of the leaders, because we were, for example, we were the first to patent the palm, Wayne palm reading technology. And then we were also the first to combine this Wayne palm reading technology with face recognition in one module. So, indeed, how do we do these things? In years, we became a truly international organization with offices in India, in the USA. And basically, we leveraged the knowledge and the experience of R&D centers around the world, which basically allows us to be also competitive.
Thank you very much, Katerina. So, maybe let's connect this question with Paul's and Roberto's answers about the using of these solutions. So basically, do you collaborate with end users, with your partners in general, on using this kind of technology? How do they benefit from this partnership, if I can say?
Sorry, my connection was not great. I didn't hear the question. The last piece of it.
Talking about using of the solutions that you are producing. So basically, do you collaborate with your partners, with end users, and how they benefit from this collaboration to help them to choose the best solution for themselves?
We mainly work with basically ZKTeco at the moment is working in two directions. So there is a part of a company that is called integration, and that part of company works directly with end users, basically offering our expertise and our hardware, sometimes also our software, in order to create unique solutions that are specifically created for those customers. On the other side, I represent the distribution part, where I work mainly with the integrators and distributors in the region, and we together basically look for things, for products, for product lines that are interesting for basically daily usage of the customers.
Thank you very much, Katerina. Roberto, coming to you again. So basically, we know that actually COVID-19 has changed a lot in the world and in the security industry as well. So basically, in your experience, how has the COVID-19 influenced the allocation of security budgets and resources prioritization within the organizations?
Well, I think that the answer, probably the first answer, will be that COVID has changed dramatically the way we normally operate and work into an organization. So, out of the period, let's say the dramatic period that worldwide we suffer about, but now companies has to accept and to recognize remote people, remote connection, devices that are connected somewhere in the world, devices that are used for professional scope, but as well for personal and private usage. So I think COVID has exploded, I would like to say, because before we had exactly the same, but it was really, really in a niche. So now the facts are exploded on the table. IT people and security people are now challenging with a completely different picture of managing resources, people, devices, environment, sites, access, etc., etc., etc. And I think this is the biggest difference that COVID has introduced or at least empathize in our scenario. So now I'm sitting somewhere in the world, but I need to be logged into a company organization, and I'm using data of the company, and I'm mix matching data from the company archive with something I saw on YouTube that is public for everyone. And I'm not talking about private YouTube view, but I'm talking about video, professional video that is resident in a public way on YouTube. So now I probably enter in a gate that is in some way controlled by my company, 2,000 kilometers from away from here, and I have to be recognized, identified, and I need to be authorized, etc., etc., etc. So I think COVID has simply put in front of us that everything is now different, and we need to face with this completely new world.
Roberto, next question for you again. Basically, what strategies do you suggest for managing these changes? You mentioned that actually before COVID we have one state within the organization. Now we have completely different state. What strategies do you recommend to organization when implementing these changes?
I have to repeat it, and I have to steal some word from Paul's speech before. And but this is because I work as a consultant, and so this is my focus business on a single base. We have two colleagues on this table today, and they show us the best of some technology. Let's say access control and video surveillance. Okay, but their devices are capable to provide us amazing result. But if I have a face recognition algorithm implemented somewhere, and I do not have anyone looking at the result of this analysis, then I have a huge database of faces that no one is capable to manage. And as well, from Katerina, if I have an amazing access control solution, but then I have places not connected or with the lack of connectivity, and then I have people arriving from multinational environments. So I have situation where I have trucks driver coming with documents, do not speak any English word, and they have a document that we all have problem to pronounce. And then you have to type their name into a database and recognize them and authorize them to go somewhere, etc., etc. So I think, again, I want to focus on this. We have to understand more and more how to use the technology. The technology is a fact. We have the best technology in the world, and probably we will continue to have it. But now we are increasing dramatically the gap between what the technology is offering us and what we understand as a benefit from the technology usage. That's probably the best way to optimize the process in this new arena, let's say.
Thank you very much, Roberto. Actually, your answer will lead me to Georgia when talking about the products and using of the products, and you know how to leverage and how to use it. So basically, Georgia, question for you: how crucial is
Yes.
employee training and awareness about maximizing security budgets and enhancing organizational resilience? And what methods do you suggest for implementing effective training programs? And as Roberto said, like let's say like using of this technology, in a let's say in their maximum.
I will just first answer Roberto about discussion before. My one of primary duty and work is to help the people who work with me. It's like you, maybe security advisor or my partner, how they to better understand new feature and how to they better can offer the end customer. You know, not all end customers need all features. I wanted to help my partner that they can pick feature what they can offer to end customer. You don't you We have separate end customer. Example about needs. Today, it's for the video surveillance. It's mostly need to prevent some to happen. Example: I living in the one block of the building where we have five buildings in the block, and below the building is a big garage. Before we install a video surveillance system, is from the garage stolen around 10 cars, and that was, I don't know, Skoda, BMW, Huawei. After we install video surveillance, that stop all the damage. It depends what end customer need and what end customer want to achieve with all systems. It's not that every end customer need to have some video system or access control system. Depends. You have the customer who needs and who will that will be after some time that investment will be, benefit from them for them. That is only I want to add.
Đorđe, thank you for the answer. If you may return to my question when it comes to trainings of the employees and raising the awareness within the employees about security.
For example, I will talking about my organization because we are in the Delta organization, and Delta very a lot invest in the education of the employee, and that is on the global level. Mostly, we are now have education about cybersecurity, managing information, high risk information. Now, all what is the basis for the protection inside of the company from outside effects, And we normally have our sales training, sales meeting, but that is mostly regulated in the VIVOTEK local offices. But on the global, in the Delta Electronics, mostly it's invested on the training for the cybersecurity and protection. And for our partner,
Thank you.
okay, just sorry, one
No.
more sentence. After COVID, what is the change? Example in before we are doing certification mostly per person on the customer side, and how was affected with the COVID, we are making VIVOTEK Academy online certification for our partner. Our distributor have possibility to log in our academy and to go in certification what they need.
Thank you very much, Đorđe. Maybe to add one of the comments from Adnan Dalanda, who actually supported Roberto. He said exactly, Roberto well said, all the ideas are good as long as they are implemented all the way intended. As an installer, I have a question: is it better to put CCTV surveillance or alarm? And I always say one that you will manage is better. The question is actually here, Adnan is talking about managing of the security system. That's maybe something that we missed to talk is actually about, what actually Roberto already mentioned about this security system. What do you need and how it will be implemented? Thank you very much, Adnan, for contribution to this webinar. Going further to Katerina. Katerina, as a key player in the biometric security industry, ZKTeco effectively balanced the need for the cutting-edge technology development with the practical considerations. So, how do you manage this actually?
Well, as I mentioned before as well, that our offices have quite a lot of independence. So, for example, the European office also is able to develop some of the products. For example, we have time and attendance product that has been developed in Spain. That's where our headquarters is, and that's where our warehouse is in Europe as well. When we choose the products from the large product line from ZKTeco, we choose the ones that fit market requirements, but also the ones that fit European regulations, the ones that we take care of the certifications, and we take care of other requirements like GDPR as well. And for example, we have initiated, the Spanish office has initiated for the biometrics technology, for the face recognition and the palm recognition, all the credentials are saved just on the card of the user. So the card that user is carrying with them. So none of the credentials are saved in the device. So this way, for example, we were able to make sure that this technology is good for the GDPR regulation. So those I guess are the practicalities that we have to deal with.
Thank you very much for answering. Now we will go to Paul, talking about the pitfalls that organization usually do, and they should avoid it. So basically, how do you advise organization to ensure that their security investments align with their risk mitigation priorities and long-term security objectives?
Well, I think, over the past hour, we've all discussed the changing environment in which we're operating in. So I think that the first lesson is don't keep pouring money into systems that don't work. If those systems are outdated, they've been put in 10 or 15 years ago, the threat environment in which they're operating, the key business objectives that the business is trying to achieve, the changing environment post-COVID and remote working, and we can continue to reel off 100 more threat drivers. Don't keep pumping money into systems that were put in and are no longer effective, because you're just using up budget. I think the other thing that we need to remember, both as a vendor and as a corporate security professional, it isn't security makes the decision on security spending. Security may make a request for security budget, but it's decided by the business. And business leaders, in many cases, don't understand security. So straight away, this is why we're seeing the significant cuts in security budget with a security organization that lacks the business acumen to understand how security can actually benefit the business and is just simply seen as a cost center. So I would say in today's world, you need to conduct a review of your business. First of all, you need to understand what the business does and how it does it. In that way, you can then use your specific expertise to understand what are the key assets that support business, and you can only achieve that by talking to business leaders in the various departments. How does security impact HR? How does it impact legal? How does it impact marketing? And as security professionals, we need to understand what all of those departments do and why they do it. And then, having ascertained, okay, what are the key assets that support all that critical business function, we go back to what are we now trying to protect it from? And having ascertained what can we protect it from, we can then look at the vulnerabilities of the existing system. Where are the gaps in the existing system, and where does it need to be improved? And when budgets are tight, then we've got to be equipped with the ability to say to business leaders, we need budget to be able to protect the most important assets from the most prevalent threat. And that will mean that we can't protect everything, but it will mean that we're protecting what's most important. And if we don't understand what we're protecting in the first place, then how can we possibly protect it? So the whole role of the security professional is not just in understanding the amazing technology that is out there that's driving efficiency in the security space, but in identifying how that technology and how people and procedure can collectively protect the business to enable it to grow, which is in the end the key driver of business leadership.
Thank you very much, Paul. Đorđe, as a business development manager, you're always communicating, I believe, with organization, with end users, with installers, and so on. Do business leaders within the organization? Do they understand the security?
Some yes, some no. And that what no they example now in the Croatia have law what need some organization which must to have video surveillance example what is by law protection by law but investment much more they understand because they see how to prevent damage if they it's mostly if they understand how they will prevent some damage what can happen it's not damage that somebody stole that somebody can lose something somebody go in some zone where they cannot be depends it's many different case how you can use the video surveillance but now it's much more it's using in the system much more private company, private investment using to invest in the video system. Example, some warehouses. When you enter in the some in the Zagreb it's a small city, 1 million people, and Croatia is small country. But example, one warehouse where you have 50, 100 trucks per day, they are always possible to have mistake with the example video surveillance you can very easy find what is the mistake and how to manage that mistake I have situation for one customer that before maybe 10 years they put one pallet of the laptop in the wrong truck and that one pallet of the laptop go on the totally different location and that is the normally it's normally be in the normally business that they didn't have video surveillance they will never found where they pallet goes because example if you have 100 trucks per day that is the crazy inside of the warehouse everybody going on the every size it's not easy to manage that and that is mostly video surveillance using to can after look what is happened and what how to solve that.
Thank you very much, Đorđe. Now we know actually that surveillance is not only for security, but also to help people to find where's the laptop pallet.
Yes.
We are finishing up. One more question for Roberto. So talking about the partnership, and then actually all of you can join in the conversation about this. So talking about the partnership of organization with, let's say, with the other organization or agency that are doing the security. So could you, Roberto, elaborate the importance of strategic partnership and collaboration in optimizing security budgets and resource allocation? And if you have some kind of positive examples, why not to share with us?
Well, I can bring to the table or to the audience an example, and this is the latest trend that I'm feeling in the market. I mean, you side know that I'm a kind of senior expert in the PSIM integration platform, and attending some, let's say, meeting or webinar, etc. I got an input where PSIM is on the at the end basically, and someone said that now unified solution are exploding, and this is exactly from a technology perspective the answer to your question. So I think there is not good and bad in the market. There are two different approach. On one side, you try to engage with companies, products, and integrators, each one with their focus, with their business, with their products, and you try to put them together. So to create a kind of teamwork where each one bring his own benefit. On the other side, there are some vendors that are trying to enter in multiple markets where, I mean, they were not present in the past because of acquisition or because of simply a different department that develop different products. And so now the picture is that there is one unique vendor or one unique integrator to represent the entire chain that try to provide everything to the end user, everything to the project. Again, I'm not in a position to say who is bad and who is good, but those are the two scenarios that I see in the market. On one side, allow people talking with people and take the very expertise of each one to work together. On the other side, try to put everything in one pocket I mean, let's say, emphasize your power, your contractual powerful, your way to contract with to deal with this vendor, etc., because now you are giving them more business and they have to come to your investment in a different way. Those are the two I mean, approach that I see in the market from the end user point of view right now.
Thank you very much. Anyone else would like to add something about collaboration between the organizations to maximize security budgets? Katerina, from your side? It seems that we cannot hear you. You are muted. Now we can hear you.
Okay, I'm back. I'm back now. Yeah. Could you repeat the question, please?
So basically, we are finishing up, and we would like, to sum up the webinar. The last question was about actually collaboration between the organizations and how we actually benefit and secure, to maximize security, not only to security budgets, but let's say to maximize security, to optimize security and to protect, of course, businesses.
Well, I've always been, I think that collaboration between companies benefits everybody. And, it benefits, of course, the end user, the integrator, because, when companies talk to each other, they don't point fingers at each other when something goes wrong, but they actually try to solve the problem and bring the better solution. But on the other side, which I see a lot recently, between companies, for example, ZKTeco is offering kind of everything that can be, possibly used in a security system, but so do a lot of other brands. But still, the companies talk to each other and talk about technology partnerships, talk about integrations, because in the markets there are so many different needs, and some companies prefer this brand, some that brand, some find this device, cheaper, and some do this in order to participate in tenders and protect their business and protect their their earnings, basically. So I think in the end it's also shared, benefits everybody.
Thank you very much, Katarina. Finishing up, Đorđe, would you like to add something in the end?
About this collaboration, VIVOTEK is 24 years old company, and we are focusing mostly on the video surveillance product. And for us, it's normal that we have cooperation with other companies. We have all the possible companies in the world are cooperation with us, but we have together common interest in the business. And that is for us normal. We are not company who can sell everything. We working together with
Thank you.
other. And okay, thanks.
Thank you very much, Đorđe. Paul, if you would like also to add something in the end before my announcement of the webinar.
I think in the end, whether you're a vendor or a security consultant or you're a corporate security professional, our job is to be able to demonstrate the value of security to the business as a whole. And if we can do that, we'll not only be able to justify security budget, but we'll be able to potentially achieve more, but certainly maximize what we've got to play with.
Thank you very much, Paul. Thank you, participants, for coming to this webinar and attending. Thank you for your time, for dedicating your time to this webinar. I hope that actually it was fruitful for all of us. Stay tuned and keep in touch. But before the end, we will also like to announce the webinar that will Paul have with their partners. So basically, it will be like interactive workshop, and it's titled like the strategic influence of security professionals. How do we build bridges inside our organizations. Paul will talk with Rachel and Paul. Paul, would you like also to add something?
Just if you happen to be in ASIS in Vienna for ASIS Europe 2024, we'd love you to come and join us and continue this conversation on how security can gain a seat at the table and be a strong value proposition for business globally.
Thank you very much, Paul. Feel free to all of you to contact Paul for more information about this if you need. Stay tuned about our webinars as well that are coming in upcoming period. And see you. Goodbye. Stay well, stay secure, and see you.
And stay safe.
Hi, bye.